Okay. All right. As I mentioned in my short intro before, cohabitation is very much on the rise because there's a legitimate concern about relationships. We have bad relationships. Our trust is sort of worn away. Everybody's doing it. Oh, I guess, yeah. Okay. It's convenient. You feel like, well, you hear a lot, well, I want to get to know them, you know. Just, is his toothbrush left out or toothpaste left out and money and crazy. So, I mean, there's legitimate reasons why cohabitation seems like it makes sense. Whoops, not yet. The main thing on here is testing relationship. Certainly there's economic reasons, as I said, don't believe in marriage because your own parents didn't do so well. Fear of divorce, and again, many people are doing it. Okay, next. The most vulnerable for cohabiting are the younger you are when you cohabit, having a lower education, lower socioeconomic status, the number of sexual partners, which I think Dr. Rare talked about. You already have children with different partners because there's some other relationship going on. That guy may still be coming by, and there's jealousy issues. The cohabiting partner is not related in blood to the child, so there's a lot more stress in that situation. And then multiple cohabiting. If you cohabit many times, it's a serial thing, again. You're kind of wearing down this ability to commit. Having children when you cohabit, which actually happens a lot, and we'll graph on that. And then one really interesting point about research is that if there's no clear idea about marrying, you're at risk. However, if you are very clear, we're going to get married, you're for me, I'm for you, we've got a date and a ring, then actually statistically it's not as much a risk. And another risk if your own parents. Okay. In 5 years, 50% of cohabiting couples marry, 40% of them break up, 10% remain living together. 30% of married couples divorce, but 62% of unmarried cohabiting couples break up. So again, the breakup of cohabiting is pretty strong. Again, the commitment does seem to make a difference. Okay, next. So obviously, if you're living together, you're having sex, it's quite available, right? You're living, I mean, you're lying right next to her. The chances of having children increases. And unfortunately, those children are all unintended. So does that make a difference to the child, to the environment, to the attitude towards the children? Yes. So you're putting children at risk if you aren't bringing them into the stable, committed relation for children. Next. I gave this graph before, but it's this worldwide. Cohabitation breaks up much more, leaves children in a vulnerable. I mean, this is their world, right? Your parents are your world, your emotional world. This is your security, and when they break up, it's very traumatic. It's very traumatic. So I think it's interesting, Norway and countries that are very liberal in cohabiting and marriage, not important, great child care, et cetera, the breakup is still just as much. So there's something about making a big independent decision. Next. This is children of married parents experience less breakup. Again, it's showing the same rate of breaking up with married parents versus cohabiting parents. staying together, is that staying together? Oh, staying together, okay, sorry. Next. Yeah, I showed this chart before. I think it's very significant that the emotional instability caused, severe emotional behavioral difficulties by having your emotional base as a child is increased by all the other kinds of family situations. The cohabiting is one of the top. Okay, next. When less committed, cohabiting men have an advantage over women. There's an asymmetry, and often the woman is more, yeah, we're gonna get married, I'm gonna be sweet, I'll change him. But I mean, we're just talking about the sexualized culture. What's the message to men? Sex is free, sex is cheap. Why settle down? You probably know that famous quote about the cow. No? Do you know it?
Why get the cow and milk?
Yeah. So why buy the cow if the milk is free? So, but it's so interesting that, okay, so in an asymmetrical relationship, the guy is less committed than the girl. Who's got the power in the relationship? So she's got to, please him, whatever, because she's not secure. He's got one foot out the door. Well, if you don't make me happy, I'm looking for someone else. So that some feminists say that marriage is bad things for marriage, but actually cohabitation puts women more at risk. Yeah, there's some that maybe the man is more committed than the woman, okay, but generally the statistics are women are more committed. Now, notice when we get married, there's the same commitment. That's huge. So again, stability, meaning, purpose. We made this decision. I'm going to make the effort to make it work. I'm invested personally. I know I'm going to work on myself. Makes a big difference then. I'm testing it, and when you don't make me happy anymore, I'm out of here. Okay, difference in commitment. Well, this is just what I was talking about. Couples who are living together are significantly more likely to be in the asymmetrical couple relationship compared to those who are not living together. But planning to marry is much more significant. Couples before marriage weakens what's happening before marriage weakens relationships. There is less happiness statistically. Again, it has to do with the security. We can't be, let me read what I said. Couples who cohabit before marriage, and especially before an engagement, or otherwise clear, tend to be less satisfied in their marriages than couples who do not. My point earlier was, in order to feel love, we have to be known. I have to be vulnerable, share who I am, my uglinesses, my hopes, my dreams, sometimes be mad at you and it's okay. You can't do that. You can't be known in relationship if I'm always trying to make you happy and make sure that you're going to stay with me. So it just can't be as satisfying and happy. Next, premarital cohabitation increases divorce. Pretty clear. Okay, next. Cohabiting, I've already said this, the cohabiting before marriage leads to more breakup. Married couples who do not cohabit 20% chance of divorcing within 5 years. Prior to cohabiting, married couples, 49% chance of divorcing within 5 years. So there is a significant difference. Next. Okay, I hope it works. So I show this in my class because, you know, a lot of my students are cohabiting. I mean, it's very, very popular. They really think this is the way I'm gonna get to know my boyfriend or girlfriend. And I mean, sometimes they buy houses together. And okay. So this is based on studies by Dr. Scott Stanley in Denver, University of Denver. And he created this phrase of sliding versus deciding. Sort of moving into the relationship, hey, we're in love, you know, I'll save money, et cetera, versus deciding. So hopefully this will. Oh.
This one?
Yep. Oh, yes. Turn it on. CARP is a great program, preparation, relationship, education program.
You know how it is. You're just living your life. Work, friends, stuff. Always running from one thing to the next. Then wham! You run into your soulmate. And your whole world becomes vibrant. Everything changes. You can't concentrate at work. Your friends are put on the back burner. Normal stuff no longer matters. What matters is making your soulmate happy. You start to enjoy the music they listen to, and you become a fan of their favorite sports teams. You realize that you really want to learn how to cook, and you spend every possible second together. Further, you co-sign on a car for them. You jump into a shared cell phone plan. You become the proud parents of Princess. Maybe you talk about moving into an apartment together, and time marches on. Then one day, it's as if you're seeing this person for the very first time. Sure, you're both active, but not in the same way. Yes, you both have hopes for the future, but one wants to settle down, and the other wants to take off on adventures. You're not sure what happened exactly, but you realize that while this person is great, they're not great for you. You'd like to break up, but you're more locked in than you realized. What about that car loan? How much will it cost to break your cell phone contract? Will there be a custody battle over Princess? And just imagine how much harder it would be to break up if both your names were on the lease. Wow, how in the world did this happen? You acted on the belief that you had a timeless love, but in reality, you had a time-limited chemical high. When you first fall for someone, the brain makes and releases an abnormal amount of chemicals into the body that affect how we think and feel. For example, there's dopamine, norepinephrine, and oxytocin. These are some of the chemicals that make us feel happy, energetic, and connected to others. During this period, you're in an altered state of mind, a kind of drug state. So it makes sense to do the kinds of things that join your lives together, little things that lock you in. But the high doesn't last forever. At some point, your chemical levels will become more normal. And this same person you locked in with in your drug state is, in many cases, not the person you see yourself with for the long haul, but you locked in before giving yourself a chance to come to. What is the better way? Take your time to enjoy one another without doing the things that make it hard to break up. Go ahead and fix up the current lemon. Don't sign for a new car. Buy Princess the fish, not Princess the puppy. Keep your own place. Don't sign a lease together. Decide to do the things that bring you closer. Don't slide into the things that lock you in. So what's the big takeaway from all this? Again, take it slow so you don't get a DUI. Decisions under the influence.
All right, how was that? Yeah, it's just a YouTube clip if you want to get it. Scott Stanley's, based on Scott Stanley's research. So, yeah, it's easy to think, getting to know this guy, move in, and you just incrementally get more, even just by the investment of time with each other, get more locked in. You got a couch, you got a car, you got a house, you got a baby, you got another baby. It's harder to break up. It just is harder to break up. And meanwhile, you could be out in the world maybe finding a better person and working on yourself, and maybe you're in this relationship because your own needs. So we really need to get the message out that we need to take time. And also, we really need to help young people realize what we were talking about when we're in love. It is a drug high, the hormones in us. We only see the good in this guy. And our feeling is he makes me happy. Well, we know in relationships that doesn't always happen. And you shouldn't be in a relationship because he's supposed to make me happy. So getting into a relationship that's going to be entangled on that drug high is very dangerous. So definitely kids need to know about the wonderful thing of falling in love. Okay, next, or any questions about this? Okay, next. So why is this a danger? If you're testing it and there's no clear commitment, you have one foot out the door. I'm still looking around. You're not investing. If there's a conflict, I'm just gonna, I don't care. But if you're committed, you have to say, I do care. I'm really angry. I was really hurt by that. And I've gotta work this out so she understands my feelings and I need to listen to hers. But again, the one foot out the door becomes part of the relationship. It's ingrained in the relationship. So even if you get married, there's still the base is, I don't have to deal with conflict, I'm unhappy. So it's the pattern. Now, I'm not saying marriage can make a difference. You can have a very serious conversation about the things that you should have talked about earlier. And, so it's possible. Anyway, it's always important to give people hope that just because it doesn't always work, you can't change this to make it work. Okay, yeah, so you can't learn to love someone with one foot. You need 2 feet, two feet in the whole heart, mind, and soul. All right, next. I think I mentioned the more cohabitation you do has a negative impact. Because the more you do, you're devaluing commitment in marriage itself. You just go from one relationship to another relationship. I fall in love and it feels so good, and well, that went away. I want to fall in love with somebody else. So you're never going to be satisfied. Because you can't get love without commitment. Just human beings are just, we're all wounded and insecure, and we're all imperfect, and to be a perfect person loving another imperfect person, you gotta have some protection to keep you working at it. That we is more important than you. And again, if this is a serial habit, then you basically don't value commitment in marriage. And one reason why marriage is important, is if the couple believes in marriage, if they value it, if they see this is from God, or this is good for a society, that helps you value your relationship. But without that, it's just trying it out. Okay. The other thing is, how many parents want to support your relationship with your girlfriend? It's harder, right? Because you don't know, especially if the boyfriend is, or girlfriend or boyfriend is serial, or you just don't know what it's like. I mean, my husband and I definitely try to help my husband, my son and his wife raise their family, financially, everything we can. But it was just a girlfriend. So even childcare, right? So there's a lack of support for many cohabiting couples. Okay, go ahead. Okay, so what can be done? A lot of my students say, but I'm already living with my boyfriend and he's wonderful and I'm sure we're gonna get married. Okay, so we need to address that. And many young people are just, how to make a good choice? How do I know he's the one? And some very good curricula by Dr. John Van Epp kind of answers this question. His curricula is called How to Avoid Marrying a Jerk. Has anybody heard of this? Okay, all right, next. Okay, I need 5 people, because this chart actually, it's like a radio that you can move the things up and down, but I couldn't bring my chart with me. So I need 5 people just to stand here and hold a sign, and I'll tell you what to do. You don't have to talk it. Thank you. Okay, so we'll be the first. Will be no. Now I have to have trust. Deny, commit, and touch. Great, thank you. Okay, so Dr. Van Epp does a lot of study about attachment. Attachment is an ongoing process, similar to Dr. Lowen's, development using Erik Erikson, but each stage builds on the next stage. Well, attachment is getting connected, and it's bonding and trusting, and there's a lot of biological hormonal things going on that in each stage. So he says, if you're getting to know someone, that comes swift to trust. He doesn't know that much in person. So get to know somebody, and then you can trust them a little bit, right? What happens if you trust them too much? All right, so maybe that wasn't a good relationship. Okay, start again. Okay, get to know somebody. Hey, he's kind of cute, and he's going to school, he's studying the same major as me. And I asked him to help me study, and he actually came on time, and he actually helped me, so I trust him. So the relationship grows, knowing always coming first, right? A little bit more trust. You can actually rely on them. I really need you to, take care of my goldfish. Take care of my goldfish. And he did. So a little more trust. Now you know how to take care of goldfish. Is this a relationship I want to commit to? Well, then I better really get to know this guy. But what's the situation in society today? Touch. Touch stimulates most of those hormones of bonding, oxytocin and whatever it is. Sex is meant for bonding. Sex is supposed to be glue. Why? Very cleverly, so that we're connected and we're committed to raising children that can come from this sexual relationship. So if there's hooking up and no commitment, no knowledge, what happens? Well, you may get very attached to this person. Oh, he must love me. But you don't know who this person is, right? So this is the most dangerous. So what about getting to know? What helps us get to know very good. Yeah, time because you get to witness many things about this person. I'm going to do the next. Okay. Oh, next one. Okay, yeah, see? Spend time, very good. So what do you want to get to know? One thing is family background. Yeah, the culture, the traditions, but also what's their relationship with their parents? What kind of gender roles were at home? Was there abuse? Was there a good marriage? Was the man dominating? And this is a guy that's going to expect to dominate. Get to know the parents. See them for yourself. Religious traditions and expectations. All these things are already in us. We bring them into a relationship, and if you don't talk about it and look at it, you don't know what you're getting into. So again, get to know the family, get to know, and talk about these things too. Okay, acts of conscience. Observing, how do they treat others, even strangers? What kind of self-awareness does he have? Or does he just blame everybody? You know, what about your past relationships? Well, I had 10 girlfriends and they're all jerks. So what does it say about their ability, their character? Is there self-discipline or is there a lack of self-discipline? How about money? Money's a big issue. How does he treat money? And how do you treat money? Is there a use of porn? Very important. We'll hear more about porn later. Drugs. Does he have a sense of right and wrong? So observe and talk to others. You know, if your friend said, this guy's a jerk, this guy was really awful to this person. So get that information. Okay, compatibility. Do you have common values, goals? Do you both want children? How do you enjoy yourselves together? Is one a hiker and the other stays at home and plays opera? It might work. And lifestyle. You know, is it really, really opposite? There's, you know, some difference is really good for a relationship, but if it's like this, that's not so good. Okay, then the examples of past relationships. Is there serial relationships? I mentioned that with only blaming. From everybody makes mistakes, but did you gain insight from that? Is there multiple sexual relationships? And get others' opinions. And then finally, skills in communication. Does he listen to me? Does when we have a conflict, how do we handle this? All marriages and thriving, wonderful, happy marriages have something like 15 irreconcilable differences. So conflict is part of marriage. You have two individuals. The issue is how do you deal with it? So this is a really important point to look at how do we handle conflicts? How does he handle conflicts? Anger, honesty. Is a good indication of honesty. Can I be honest and vulnerable? Trusting you with my feelings. That's really key in a relation, in a marriage, really key. And then the other thing is, like I tell my students, okay, you're living together, look at each of these points. Sit down and have many in-depth conversations with your boyfriend or girlfriend so that you can clarify, where are you with this? And some say, I can't talk to him about that. Well, that's a bad sign. These you can learn. There's wonderful relationship education programs out there. I totally believe in premarital education. And once you get married, still get educated. But, sorry, I didn't forget you. So, if we can focus on taking time and having very intentional conversations about these issues, we can gradually know and trust and rely on and keep on checking back and commitment, and then it makes sense to enjoy touch. That makes sense, right? Okay, and when you're married, guess what? You have to do the same thing. You still are getting to know this individual. You still have to build trust by treating their feelings respectfully, try to understand them. And also by trusting them with your vulnerabilities. You know, I was really upset, you made me mad, right? Very important. And you're also I can rely on you and you can rely on me. Commitment, you have to renew that commitment every single day. You know, I'm too tired, I don't really want to talk to my husband. And then touch. Keep the touch. Sexual in every other way going. If you're constantly working on these, if one gets out of, you know, maybe one gets out of shape and you haven't been good, that's a problem in your marriage. So, this, right? Okay. They did wonderfully, didn't they? Okay. Let me go back one. So, this is just kind of re-saying what I said. That falling in love is actually similar on CAT scans to the compulsive state, obsessive compulsive state. And each step leads to attachment. You don't have to develop attachment without having a secure base in the prior. Okay. Okay, and going in order is very important. Okay, questions. I think I don't think anything else. Yeah, okay. Know that you can have and deserve to have the best ever genuine, growing, lasting love. I totally believe. And I think we need to make this message loud and clear because so many are discouraged about marriage that we have such great science of relationships. We can teach people how to listen carefully, how to handle conflict. You know that we need to touch and we need to keep working on our commitment every day. And so there's really good reasons why we can build better relationships than ever before. We have to get that message out because there's a lot of discouragement. So keep relationship attachment in all areas, take marriage and premarital classes if you're married. There's lots of online classes. You can just do it in your home. PrEP is actually one of the best. Okay, so now questions. Yes?
Devin.
Devin.
Yeah. So thank you for your presentation. Really informative. And really just going back to the beginning part with the cohabitation piece, I noticed a lot of the data speaking to the differing levels of attachment, or rather a commitment. Mm-hmm. And you made a note, you said when you're not clear about marriage versus when you are clear about marriage and cohabiting, you're more likely or less likely to be affected by the negative effects of cohabiting. Mm-hmm. And I think that's important to note because I believe there's a value in cohabiting before marriage when there's an intention to marry that person versus if you're just cohabiting for convenience or all those things you mentioned that would lock you in. Yeah. So just based on your research and your experience, would you say that there could be a case made for cohabiting when there is an intention to marry versus if we're married, now let's have our first apartment together? Like, is there two extremes or is there somewhere in the middle?
Yeah, no, you can jump into a marriage without knowing, right? And that's the other side.
Right.
Yeah, if you've done all, I'm pointing here as if this goes here. If you've done a lot of the work of getting to know and trust, et cetera, and then you've made a very clear decision to marry, then statistically, now it may be against your values or your parents' values or something else, but you should take into consideration. Statistically, it says it's okay, you are getting to know each other. But whatever you're getting to know is probably not going to change the commitment. You really need it first. Yeah.
Just to give you an anecdotal example, my son's 25 years old. He's been living with his girlfriend since high school, since he moved out of my house. They intended to get married. Right now, he has no intention of getting married. They've been living said for what you brought up, because I'm seeing it in my family. I'm seeing my son who, he was taught to have sex after marriage, but he's chosen not to, and that was her fault, because she wanted to live with him and have sex, right? And so he lowered his standards to her standards, and now she wants to be married and he has no desire.
Yeah, so it's true. I mean, maybe the commitment isn't really there. The words may be. I mean, that's why, again, really, really knowing this person and being honest with yours.
And I would think if you ask him, he would say he loves her and she loves him. But she's very honest. She talks to my wife all the time and my mother-in-law. You know, I don't know why he's not marrying me. I can tell you why. You know, he's getting what he wants at this point.
Yeah.
To that point, if I could speak back, is that to say that cohabiting has to include intimacy, or rather, physical sex. You know, could you cohabit, but then still put that off and not be right? And that's a little question. I mean,
Right, that's asking a lot.
You might be able to, but I.
I mean, you know, spend a lot of time with each other.
right.
Serve together. Don't you? The other thing is dating. Well, date.
So I dated my wife for 5 years.
Yeah.
She was married before. That's when my son came around, was the first marriage. He's so much older than the rest of my children. Everyone thought we were nuts for dating for so long. But the reality is that marriage is not the panacea. It does not fix all of the problems. We have still had a lot of the problems we had during the 5 years of our dating. The difference is we're committed and we're working on it.
Very well said. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Do you have a question?
Actually, my question was that question too, but more specifically, are there certain figures on the difference in the negative effects of cohabitation between those who do it and don't have any like intention or goal to get married,
Or certainty, maybe.
or certainty, as compared to those who do?
So is there figures on those that get
Those who
who
cohabit?
cohabit with the intention of getting married versus?
Those,
Exploring.
yeah, they're just exploring. They're just doing it at a convenience.
Cohabitation with the commitment versus cohabitation.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I bet you Scott Stanley has that.
Then I guess-
Again, they're saying their commitment, you know,
Mm.
but still, it would be interesting.
Yeah.
Just saying your commitment and, well, do you have a date and a ring? That's pretty clear.
More as the question, how do you measure intention? How do you measure commitment?
Right. Yeah, so maybe just words aren't enough, but I think if there's a date and a ring, that's pretty clear. Oh, I know. So, yeah, we do want to get to know the other person. We do want to get to know if little things are going to drive you crazy. But really, if you spend enough time with each other,
You figured out anyway.
I think you figure it out.
I don't know, after 15 years, there's still things.
That bothered me.
It's
There's
true.
things I've never
It's-
said.
It's true.
Because I don't want it to be a problem, right? But there's little things that really do bother me that I just don't bring up because to me it's not worth it.
Maybe you're just smart.
She's bad with it.
Yep.
And I'm sure, I already know for her, like, I drive her nuts, so.
Yep.
But we love each other, right? Because love is not built on this stupid pettiness.
Yeah, no, yeah. As I said, you know, couples, happy, thriving couples have 15 issues that are, you know, we just can't get it agreed upon. But
I was
the
supposed to
week,
be here at 8 o'clock this morning, but the reason I was late is because I spent time with my wife and my children. I'm like, I need to go, but I took a step back and said, this whole conference is about marriage, intimacy, and family.
Right.
How can I not spend time with them? So I was 30 minutes late this morning, but
so we forgive you.
Does it want to play
it is labor, there's a labor of love. And you just can't grow unless you're challenged. All your selfishness is challenged to figure out how to love this other person. It's very different than you that thinks different. I mean, that is God's, I think, greatest challenge to us. You know, I mean, He loves us even though He, you know, we're
I
so
would
great.
suggest to you that it even goes beyond, like even to like some recent data that I just saw that we're waiting to invest in higher education. They were talking about closing the achievement gap, right? One thing they noticed in all of that data that was presented, UNLV, UNR, CSN, is that Asian and Pacific Islanders typically perform better. They're the one minority group who's performing better than all of the others. Why? I think they have more impact values. That's what I think. Now, I don't think anyone's having that conversation. That's the conversation that needs to be had.
Yeah. No, there's data on this for sure, for sure. 2 minutes, okay.
I don't know if anybody else.
Okay, anybody on this side? Question? Okay, all right.
Could you go back to the, I think there's a slide. Yeah, that, no, so right after. So a question, going to like the way you presented everything, I 100% agree really that knowing this is extremely important. And a part of, I guess, where the unanswered question comes is, what's the difference between compromise versus change? And what you're willing to compromise versus what you have to really ask the question is this something I'm trying to change, and is that right or wrong? Right?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And it continues in your marriage, actually. You know, like you say, there's some issues that I don't bring this up with my husband. Yeah, I mean, you have to know yourself too. If you're needy, you know, and you just want his love and want that security, then you're just going to be on compromise. But at some point, you're going to say, you know, this isn't working, and I'm just listen to other people that know you. Your parents. You know, cohabitation happens, and parents are clueless about this relationship. And it used to be parents guided, you ask the father hand in marriage because we need support to make it through marriage. And we do need someone that loves us and knows our character. Say, no, this is not a good match. Look at this, this, and this, and this, and you want this, this, and this. So, a little bit sweet talk. So what was I saying?
Well, really, is like what room is there for compromise versus where you gotta accept it? So when that
Yeah, I mean,
aspect.
it's a great question. I can't answer it. You gotta know yourself. You know, he doesn't. I know a couple that they're married. She wants to have children. He doesn't want to have children. Why didn't they talk about this before? For her, it really is like the issue, and she has to decide. I mean, they've been married for many years. They've been together for 10 years, and here it just breaks my heart. You know, so that is a bottom line issue. So know yourself. You know, no, absolutely no porn. Yes, I want children. I want to have a job, and I want to, you know yourself. And yeah, maybe you'll be able to compromise eventually, but that's time. Thank you. Great.